California are unpaid prison labor? Why fund the fire department when you can just give the LAPD $4 billion extra to arrest people and force them to give you free labor and fight fires? But when they get out of prison, make sure they never get to become firefighters.
Stop. Commanding General Yahana did this story 1 year ago. I remember, where there's a law passed in California where if you're in prison, then you can be used to fight the forest fires and now the spreading into the city, the fires that have spread into the city. You can be used to stop the fires in California. But once you get out of prison, you're not allowed to hire someone who has previously been in prison to be a fireman. So if you were in prison, you could be used to fight this fire. But once you serve your time in prison and you've spent all of your time fighting forest fires in California, once you get out and you go sign up for a job in California, they can't give you the job because you're a felon, because you're a former inmate. They can only give this job to current inmates. Let me tell you what Jesus Christ said in the Bible, in the Spirit. The root of all evil is the love of money. Everything that you see happening in California is because of the greed of a few people. They cut the budget of the fire department. Why? Because it's cheaper to get slaves in prison to put out the fire. They will not give you a job once you come out of prison to fight those same fires that you fought while you're in prison, because they'll have to pay you more money. So the best way to fight a fire in California is to be a prisoner. But once you get out, you can't fight that same fire. So they cut the budget and they give all of the money to the police in California, who killed more people than they ever have in history. And their budget gets increased. Their training gets increased. Every evil thing that you see happening in California is to satisfy the few rich people that run this world. And in this particular case, I can actually give you the name of the rich people because there's only two of them.
What?
There's two rich people that own 90% of the water, public water in California. They're a family. It's a husband and wife. What are their names? What do you have right here holding for me?
The Resnicks.
The what?
The Resnicks.
You have their pictures?
Might be in this video, sir.
This is fine. This is the Resnick family. The Resnick family owns, now listen carefully, owns 90% of the public water. When I say public, you know what I mean, right? I mean the water that comes out of the fire hydrants. The public water.
Owns a massive share of.
They own 90% of it. It's their water. And they use it for their agriculture business. They use it to make all that good almond milk that you women love, and that soy milk, and those avocados they make in California. All of these things, of course, worked by slave labor that they call immigrants. Pick all of these vegetables and work these fields. Slave labor in the name of immigrants that work all of the fields from these two people. These two people, they control the water. The water belongs to them. Play the video.
State's water system, seized in a series of secretive meetings while 40 million Californians suffer through unprecedented drought. One billionaire couple owns a massive share of the state's water system, seized in a series of secretive meetings 2 decades ago. That system was largely paid for by the very taxpayers whose water these billionaires hold hostage. Urban water systems are desperate for water, but in 2023, they'll receive just 5% of what they requested from the state. The Resnicks are the biggest farmers in California. As of 2007, they owned 4 San Francisco's worth of farmland, and nearly half of Americans buy at least one of their products. Their pistachios, their pomegranate juice, their mandarins, their flowers. It's all under one massive umbrella, the Wonderful Company, a privately owned company worth at least $5 billion. The majority owners, the Resnicks, are worth at least $8 billion. How were they able to take over such a large percentage of what should be a shared public resource?
Brother, this is what's happening in California. They don't have the water in California to wet down the wildlife areas, to wet the forest down so that they can prevent forest fires. They don't have the water to properly put out the forest fires because two people